Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Esports Masters League here for round number 5 of the Academy tier. My name is, of course, Michael Edwards, going to be taking you through the action. Unfortunately, it does appear like it's just going to be myself here tonight, but don't worry, we will try to bring double the enthusiasm. Of course, tonight we travel to Qatar, a absolute fantastic circuit, and one that is a real fuel drainer around this track of Qatar, which we will be going racing at. Of course, the tyre compounds here tonight. Of course, the C1 hard tyres, C2 mediums, and of course, C3 soft tyres. It is a 5.3 kilometer circuit in length, 3.3 miles. Of course, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. 28 laps awaiting these drivers. But I know you guys want to be seeing who is going to be racing here tonight. And as you can see in the corner just over there, they have just loaded into qualifying. But we'll get the lineup here tonight for you. So in the Red Bulls representing IRT here tonight, we do have Seb and Mika, and obviously I believe they had a last minute sub come in the Williams, which I believe was Daniel coming in for the actually no sorry, wrong team. That is of course ET8, but yeah, only 2 IRT drivers here tonight. Of course, ET8, as mentioned, with the drivers, we got ET8 Chris in instead of Oscar in that Mercedes. Lifeboat is here, of course, for ET8, and Chris will join him in the Mercedes. And of course, Krishy is going to be missing here tonight. Of course, he is being replaced by Daniel. So they are the driver changes from the lineup. So everything else is as it appears. Obviously, Spicer in the McLaren for NLR development, Mustache in the Aston Martins, and of course Liam alongside him, that is NLR development. RCR, we got Capitan, Fleckos, and of course Lab for RCR, both Capitan and Fleckos in the Ferrari, and Lab of course in the Alpha Tauri. And for WOR, we have Oshin and Fraser in the Alfa Romeos, and of course Jimmy in the Haas F1 car. So that is the drivers who will be racing here tonight. Let's have a quick look at the standings. And there we have it. ET8 currently leading the way on 228 points. 184 points is the team in second place. WOR Academy, 44 points, the gap between them. And of course, IRT, a further 52 points back there in third on 132. NLR Development on 117 in fourth place. And of course, RCR Academy, their first race out last time in Belgium. And of course, they walk away with 31 points as a collective group. And of course, they are now in P5 with 31 points. And of course, GL Academy, who have of course dropped out of the season, they are currently in P6 with 1 point. I mean, I believe, I'm not sure if we're going to have anyone joining us in the comms, but we will get going. I just heard the Discord go off in the background, so I do apologize. And yeah, we will bring in the comms. I believe the one and only Mr. James Head has joined me in the commentary box. How are you doing, James? It would help if I unmuted myself in Discord. James Head joins me in the comments box. How are you doing tonight, James?
I am doing really good, Mike. How's yourself?
Yeah, doing fantastic. I caught a little bit off guard with the Discord thing here, but yeah. Do you need a invite into the session, or are you all in and all good?
I'm already in. I am already in, and RCR, of course, I think we're mentioning there, they've all got, of course, got the qualifying ban into tonight as well. It should be exciting in terms of the action here at Untracked Academy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, 14 drivers here tonight. Unfortunately for IRT, only able to get 2 drivers in tonight, which of course is going to hinder them in their overall charge in the standings. But 2 drivers, could it work out for them here tonight? Just the 2 to worry about?
I think it could. I mean, Seba's very consistent, I think, in terms of his drive. And we saw with Michele as well last week. He got a little bit unlucky in Belgium. Should see, I think, IRT really bounce back to form. Jimmy, I think, is the first man out on track. 29.6 in the 26.6 even in the first sector. From the WR man on board with the Haas, he comes through the right-hand return of the 7. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. NLR, ET8, certainly one to watch out for, I think, here tonight as well.
Yeah, of course, WOR looking to try and close up the gap on ET8 in the standings. I mean, as previously mentioned, there was 44 points and a little bit of an up and down race for both WOR and ET8 last time out in Belgium.
It was, yeah. I mean, the sort of level of contact that we had last week as well, so obviously mentioned in the stewards reports about it, but in terms of the level of driving, this track, Qatar, really produces some really good action out on track. Hopefully more of the same tonight. Jimmy's coming through the final corner, by the way, on the run toward the line. Hopefully Jimmy can live up to my namesake, certainly in the comms box as he comes to the line with a 20.9. Not a bad lap there at all. We should be seeing, by the way, in terms of EML F1 a little bit later on, drivers in possibly the 18s, 19s as we go forward.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Lifeboat displaces Jimmy at the top, goes there with a 20.7. Liam splitting the pair in P2 right now on a 20.9 as well. So, obviously, first set of runs, we're looking at mid to high 20s early on.
Yeah, and it's not too bad. I mean, the track obviously will evolve as the session will go on. We saw in real life how the high blistering and the high fuel load as well will really come into place. Chris there goes top from Lifeboat in second. Chris, I believe, also a manager in ET8 as well as a driver. He's out on top, though, from Lifeboat in second. Mustache and Liam third and fourth, respectively, for NLR. So they're looking quite good as Spider now goes quickest. Spider spying a gap at the top end of the standing so far. 5 minutes gone, and he is out on top. So it seems like age-old battle between NLR and ET8 is well and truly on again tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw it a decent bit last week in Belgium. Looks like it's carrying on here tonight in Qatar. Two drivers, unfortunately, invalidating on their runs. Oshin and Daniel out there. Of course, Daniel coming in a little bit late. Obviously, a late call up for him to represent ETA here tonight. Same with Chris as well. So, will that lack of practice come back to haunt them, I wonder?
Possibly so. I mean, Chris on a 120.6. If that's lack of practice, then I'm possibly Mahatma Gandhi or something. But he's there in second with a 120.6. This track is very easy to get used to. Once you get a lap in, once you get a banker in, I think it's very easy to find your feet around a track like this. Chris and Lifeboat, of course, very, very good for ET8. Spies there, of course, out on top of the minute. Daniel V28, by the way, is on the lap as well, but I think he's run out of fuel in the Williams. He is another one to watch out for as well. I've commentated them quite a few times, actually, at EML and in other leagues as well, actually, from Daniel's perspective. But he's certainly the one to watch out for in terms of individual drivers here in Academy as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and likewise, you know, I've been able to commentate over some of these drivers many times in other leagues, and of course, in previous EMLs as well, where they were part of like former teams way back in the day. But I mean, as it currently stands, it is Spicer who leads the way at the top of the timing sheets with just under 11.5 minutes to go in the session. One thing I was saying, obviously, at the start of the stream, is that this track is an absolute fuel burner.
Oh, it is. I did PSGL WR around here, and put it this way, tyres as well is going to be something that really, behold, we could see, like in real life, the tyres really burn at you because you're going basically 80% of the lap full throttle. The tyres do burn out as well as the fuel. So I wouldn't be surprised if people run out of fuel. I think they've got to put in maybe 2 laps extra of fuel just to try and get to the end of the race, given as well as the little safety car chance around here as well. But in PSGL WR, the races that I covered there, honestly, the fuel and the tyres, don't be surprised, Mike, if you see drivers potentially on a 2 or 3 stop strategy.
Honestly, I mean, I've seen punches around here. I've seen drivers running out of fuel around here. I've seen the worst case scenario, drivers running out of fuel 2 laps before the end.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not too bad, but then again, it's not too shabby either for a qualifying session like this. Luckily, we've only got 11 drivers out on track. It's not going to take as much as what might do in a full 20 grid session, but Spicer out on top, currently Chris in second, Lifeboat in third. The second runs are about to begin. Daniel B28 as well as Oshin are the first two coming out on track. Two drivers on haven't currently got a lap time in set so far. But look at the field. I mean, less than a second, covering 9 drivers that have set lap time so far. And the top 7 covered by 0.3 of a second, just under. Very, very good stuff from the Academy drivers so far. As there is a yellow flag, and that, I think, is the Mercedes of Lifeboat coming out pit lane.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as you mentioned, in terms of the tyres around here as well, the strain that goes on through a race on these tyres. Obviously, we've seen in previous F1 games, and of course, previous tracks as well, where sometimes it's better to have a nice little cooler out lap instead of just trying to get around a bit tidy. But we've also seen where an installation lap is sometimes better than just going completely full out. But around here, it seems the complete opposite. You want to be on it as soon as you cross the line.
Yeah, you want to be on it, definitely, indeed. And a track like this at Qatar, you've got to get the lap time right. If you haven't practiced like the ET8, Chris apparently hasn't, but he's there in second position. If you come in tonight with a lack of practice, it will tell. You will be completely and utterly in the backwash in terms of qualifying here tonight, especially watching for EML F1 later on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see drivers on the back foot. But Shane, first man out on track currently. I think he's, of course, in the WR team alongside Fraser and Jimmy here tonight as well. So WR triply represented once again. He's got the Williams Daniel B28 behind him, and those two are going to play a little bit of DRS chicken, I think, coming through the final corner to prepare for their laps.
Yeah, and of course, Oshin going to get himself underway now. Obviously, cooling down the tyres before he gets underway, and he'll cross the line to begin a lap around here in Qatar, down in towards turn 1. A very good overtaking opportunity through turn 1. It can very easy to go side by side through there, but also very easy to get it wrong. And as we go through 2 and 3 now, heading up to turn number 4, so easy to just drift wide on the exit of turn 4 and pick up a track limit 1, and now through 5 as well. Similar story, and the first sector split 26.7 from Oshin so far.
Yeah, not too bad at all. 26.6, I think, is the fastest I've seen so far. So he's not too far off the big first sector split. He now comes through the middle sector, coming through the right-hander of turn 7, 8, and then through the right-hander of turn number 9, and then the left-hander, of course, of turn number 10. Floodlights, by the way, really reflecting well off these car liveries out on track. Of course, sports livery and F2 updates to come next week on the 16th of October. So next Monday, 53.4 in the middle sector for Machine, through my favourite part of the track now, through the triple right of 12, 13, then to the right-hander of 14. Absolutely on the limit. Do not put this down to 6th gear, however, you go wide necessarily through 6th gear. Machine just made me shut up, I think, with that. This now comes through the final corner at turn 16, on the run to the line here at the Lusail International Circuit of the Sheen. Certainly looking to put it up there. What is that time going to be? Spider from Chris from Lifeboat. The Sheen now to the line. 20.8, very respectable lap, goes ahead of Moustache by 1,000th of a second. Daniel, though, goes quickest out of everyone.
Yeah, Daniel in behind, a 20.60 run. Fantastic lap from Daniel. Spider's on an invalid lap, so he's not going to be improving in the second run.
Lifeboat was going for a bit of slipstream there down the straight. Totally got me off. It was an invalid lap. It would have been quickest though with a 120.5. But he nearly ran into the back. I think that was a C who backed off a lap. One of the IRT drivers, certainly. It was the other one on McKelly who we nearly got into. If he was any closer, he would have been into the back of him, and there would have been absolutely hell to play, I think, in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. As we got Chris now coming through the final corner, as we see Jimmy go up on the provisional pole at 20.3. There comes Chris to the line for ET8. And he is going to improve onto the front row, a 20.5.
Yeah, his first sector was lacking out. I looked on board with him through the first sector split, and he's 400ths down coming out of the first sector. So Chris needs to try and improve. Moustache has certainly improved there in second position. I've got a bit of a Moustache going myself in the commentary box here tonight, but Moustache there in second, Chris there in third. Good lap time has been set so far. Second run's pretty much done. Don't think like there is anybody else on a lap time right now. Maybe WR Fraser, but I think he is down on a lap time. But look at how close it is actually between Fraser and Spicer. Spicer's actually staying in pit lane. 1,000th of a second between Fraser and Spicer, and only what? That's what? Moustache to Spicer is 1/10 of a second, so close between the drivers out on track.
Yeah, I mean, from Moustache in P2 down to Oshin in P10, I believe that is 2.5 tenths between the two of them.
It is. It's so close around this track. Qatar always provides the action, always provides the thrills, sometimes the spills as well. But every race I've commentated over, certainly, Mike, I'm sure you'll agree, we've had action galore, overtakes galore, even 3 wide down in towards turn number 1 and PSGL F1 as well. But hopefully we get to see some really good action. Yes, we are lacking in terms of the drivers out on track, in terms of only being 14. RCO, of course, are going to try and provide themselves with a good result. But everyone now into pit lane. 4 minutes to go. It is game time now for these drivers out on the track. The final runs are going to begin very shortly indeed. But if you were an RCR driver, just actually on with them and taking the qualifying ban, you've got to try and surely use up the tyres to your best effect with your starting 12th, 13th and 14th.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, having all those fresh tyres available to you for the race as well is going to be a huge bonus for them, because obviously they could have 2 fresh sets of mediums available to them, which would be absolutely fantastic to them. And obviously, you know, the amount of soft tyres, fresh softs that they'll have in case there is a late safety car. But the thing is, I don't generally see safety cars around this circuit. I don't know about you, but I'm yet to see one.
I've seen one, I think, in WOR, and I think it was from a collision with the wall and a spin coming out of turn 1. I think it might have been Kean, if I'm not mistaken, from that race in WOR CPT. Well, that was only, last week, I think that was. So safety cars can occur around here. They're very, very rare, though, and which is why tyres are to watch, fuel to watch as well. It is going to be very interesting, especially, I think, for the EML F1 guys a little bit later on, who are really versed to that and versed to the high-level racing up there. They're going to have a real knock-on effect, I think, from the racing out on track. The Academy drivers, I think, will suit it well. EML F1, I'd be a little bit concerned, especially given the lineup that we've got tonight there as well.
Yeah, and of course, higher up the tiers you go, obviously the drivers are pushing that little bit more, as we got the first car coming out on the final run. I believe that is Mustache in our development.
It is indeed Mustache. He's coming out, and I'm actually on board with him. Coming out of the pit lane, he is coming down towards the exit of the pit lane. Of course, pit entry is actually different around this track compared to what we're actually seeing in the game. Thanks, Codemasters, for that one. They obviously didn't decide to update the game before Qatar was actually run. But Mustache there is the first man out on the track, and he'll be looking to provide a good result, of course, for NLR here tonight. Of course, NLR also represented duly by Liam, the Swede, and Spicer there down in 7th position. And NLR, of course, in terms of the championship standings as well, I'll just get them up on my end because I forgot the championship standings from last week. Of course, E-Tail Academy leading the way, WR in 2nd, NLR Development, seeing them down in 4th position. They do not deserve to be there, and I think a track like this, definitely NLR to watch out for tonight.
Yeah, Mustache, obviously, very good driver, as we both know. So is Spicer, so is Liam. So it is very strange to see him down there, but a couple of races has just got away from him in the early stages. So we'll see in the second half of the championship if they can claw that back and maybe try and get themselves up to WOR, maybe even ET8, because there's still plenty of rounds left to do it.
Yeah, one race will absolutely change everything, I think, around a track like this. It's going to be really intriguing in seeing how these guys get on. Don't worry about the yellow flags, by the way, that we're seeing. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get an illegal blocking penalty around here as well. Dare I say, I'm now going to absolutely curse it out on track. We might get first one potentially of the season here. But Jimmy out on top, Mustache second, Chris there in 3rd. Jimmy's lap time, 120.373. Very hard to beat, I think. But if they've saved a fresh compound of tyres, this is now game time for drivers out on track, and Mustache is the first one to go onto his lap.
Yep, so we'll ride on board with Mustache for the entirety of the 5.3 kilometre, 3.3 mile circuit as we head down in towards turn number 1. Very, very wide corner. Obviously, through turn 1 it can chew you up, split you up with many different lines you can take through it as well. But Mustache very fine for the first sector so far. Coming up to turn 4 now, and you really have to throw the car in through turn 4, and of course through turn 5 as well. Very easy just to go over the track limits. We head down into turn 6, which I believe is possibly the slowest corner on the circuit in its entirety, as we go now into turn 7. Now through the left hand king of turn 8, now into turn 9, taking a lot of curve there, and now through turn 10, and let's have a look at this middle sector split as we go through the left hand king of turn 11. Middle sector split, marching down, but he is also invalidated as well.
Yeah, that's a shame for Moustache. Track limit's very, very hard around this track. And I've got to be honest, Moustache there finding that out. Spicer there, though, was up on his time. He's a 10th up through the middle sector split, coming through the right-hander of turn 14 as we go on board with him, in toward the left-hander now of turn 15. He's the next one to come across the line. Mercedes in behind as well. I think it's Lifeboat from that. Chris hasn't actually managed to get across the line. Neither is Seed, neither is Sheen. So they're actually not on runs right now. Spicer on the run to the line, though. NLR Development looking to try and put them on a good result, on a good footing. Spicer now to the line. Goes fifth position for Spicer. That's a bit of a shock given his performances around here in the past. Spicer there in fifth, Liam there as well as in ballad, so he's not going to be actually improving like that, though. A huge that on the run to the line goes quicker than Jimmy by only 0.08 of a second. Jimmy is 0.4 down through the middle sector, so this is not on for Jimmy for WOR. Liam not on a lap. Fraser is improving. His middle sector split, he's 800 up, so Fraser can find 2.5 of a second. He's going to be bang up there with Lifeboat and Jimmy.
Yeah, but Fraser now through the final sector, really using as much of the track as possible, maximising every bit of track that he can as he goes into the final corner now. He does have a car ahead of him, a little bit of a tow down the start finish straight, and this is going to be absolutely perfect for Fraser as he comes to the line, and it's going to be P3.
Yeah, and that was Jimmy actually giving them slipstream down the straight, so obviously slipstream allowed here in EML. Jimmy there in second, not a bad lap time there at all, but it is out on top, and we'll go through, of course, the full grid order in just a second. It'll come up on my screen, and it is Lifeboat out on top from 0.08 of a second from Jimmy there in second. E-Tain against WOR, it seems, early on in tonight racing here in Qatar. Fraser there in third with Moustache in fourth. Nice, actually, performances by them. Chris there in fifth, Bulgarian from Daniel in sixth, Spicer there in seventh, Liam there in eighth, and Seben ninth. Sheen, who I guarantee is not Chinese, he's there in 10th position. I think he's Irish, if I'm not mistaken, is the Alfa Romeo man. He's there down in 10th. McKaylee there in 11th, and of course, RCR, mate, with a qualifying band, Capitan, Lab, and, oh my god, Felcors, I think that is pronounced, there right down the back of the field for the Frenchies.
Yeah, RCR, of course, serving their qualifying band. It's going to be interesting to see how they come through the field and to see if they can get themselves up the order. Of course, that is another quick look at the standings in the championship. ET8 leading the way by 44 points to WOR Academy in second place. IRT currently in third, a further 52 points back off WOR. And of course, NLR Development, and I believe that's 15 points off the back of IRT, and then RCR, of course, their first race last time out in Belgium, picking up 31 points for them. So, I mean, it was a good showing from RCR last time out. So, I mean, definitely could be an interesting one for them in this race.
Yeah, they did a great job in the EML F1 last week as well on their debut, of course, replacing FBR last week, and looking to try and build on that from their academy setup. Their academy setup, I think, is more well-known than the actual main team, certainly in EML's case. But EML F1, later on, you can catch the likes of RCR out on track. Some comments in the chat as well in terms of academy. Seeb saying who was going so slow, and Moustache also mentioning about slipstream is allowed. And I don't think the teams actually realised that, because I'm very surprised we only saw one team actually utilising that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, that can always be a key, just having your teammates giving you a little bit of a tow, a little bit of slipstream down the main straight, and of course, getting themselves up towards the top end of the field, because it really does help out in the long term of the race. Unfortunately, the comments didn't come up for me on the stream, so
it was in Discord.
Oh, it was in the Discord. I was looking at the stream and I was like, oh, comments, they should be driving. What's this?
No, it's in the Discord. It's all in the Discord. Yeah, slipstream allowed, though, and the 5 related better go ahead on track.
Yep, and we are underway. Lifeboat leads away. Jimmy gets off the line well. Fraser gets off the line well, but Moustache getting off the line fantastic. He's down the inside of Fraser into turn 1.
He is indeed coming through the right-hander turn more. Moustache and Fraser side by side. Fraser runs out wide, and that is job done truly for the Frenchman. Fraser actually fights back in toward the left-hander of turn number 2. There's contact though in the background. Oh, there's absolute carnage in the background. Red Bull's lost his front wing. I think that might be McKaylee who's lost his front wing. Seber's round, Daniel round as well, and we've got a VSC deployed out on track. Seber's actually stricken there pretty much in the barrier. He's also lost, I think, a little bit of end plate damage on the car to VSE deployed out on track. Wipeout leads, Jimmy second, Fraser in third. But absolute carnage in the background. RCR, though, luckily, have managed to avoid that.
Yeah, Michaela also with no front wing on a set of the medium tyre. So the only one to go on a set of mediums and has no front wing on this car right now.
Yeah, which is a shame, but obviously the race around here, and we've already seen a VSC, whether or not we'll see a full safety car though, remains to be seen out on track as well. In terms of the tyres, everyone has decided to go for a set of hards around here. Probably the best tyre to go on. I've got in my notes 16 laps and an optimal of 12 to 13 on a set of hards, maybe a little bit more. I think they might even be my Belgium notes, so I'm actually saying, but we are back underway, and Daniel there trying to hunt down the back of Captain. I think he actually got away with that. I think he might have just been caught up in a spin. Somebody that has spun, though, is Felkors, who's off. Lab also off, and Felkors has lost his front wing as well. So that is disastrous for RCR. Just as I said a little bit earlier on, they managed to avoid all of that. Then haven't. Kasiba's in, Felkos is in, Lav has managed to report that, luckily. Whiteback though leads, Jimmy second, Fraser in third, Mustache right on the back of him towards turn number 1 though.
Yep, Mustache getting close to the back of Fraser through turn number 1. He could get a better traction out of turn 1, but has to settle in behind it through turn 2. But Mustache now looking for an opportunity. He's looking for alternative lines for these cars to try and get a job done on Fraser here.
Yeah, definitely so, and it is going to be with Mustache trying to take the alternate line. Look at him, to the inside line, in towards turn number 6. That is how you take an alternate line, and that is how you get an overtake done towards turn number 6 as well. Beautiful stuff by the Frenchman. He's through, and he's into third, and he is now putting the 2014 French song of the same name, by the way, Mustache, the complete bed, because unlike France in 2014's Eurovision, they got nil points. Mustache has certainly got definitely not getting nil points with that.
Chris coming through on Fraser as well. Fraser falling back through the field.
He is, yeah. Fraser making that mistake coming out of turn number 10. Liam right on the back of Fraser as well. Might be trying to jump the ship potentially in terms of this move. Got to be really on the limit coming through that triple right. Wipeout though out on top. Jimmy there in second. Slipstream big around this track as well. We could see moves in towards the final corner potentially as well. Not this time around though, as everyone runs line astern into the final corner. But yeah, Wipeout lead. Jimmy second, but Liam gets a phenomenal run out the final corner. Spider and Asheen on the battery. Watch out for him in towards turn 1.
Yeah, Liam opting to get out of trying to go for that move and tuck back into the slipstream, but he's gone down the inside through turn 1, and Spider's going to follow him through as well. Both our drivers getting the move done on Fraser.
I wonder if Fraser, I'm not sure if he's struggling in terms of the tyres or if it's his setup potentially, but I wonder if he's got a little bit of damage on the car because he's just fallen through the field like an absolute stone. Asheen's just overtaken him, and Fraser, look at him, coming through the right-hander there. I think he's got potentially left side end plate damage on that car. It's not visible to me, certainly, but I would say, given how he's just struggling through the corners, I think he's got damage on that car.
Yeah, potentially, possibly a little bit of light yellow wing damage here for Fraser, possibly, but I mean, he is going to continue on. He is a very good driver. So, I mean, we would expect Fraser to get accustomed to the damage and try to do his best to keep winning the DRS rings. But as you can see, he's just falling away from these guys.
Yeah, he's done. He is done, I think. He may as well, do you know what? He may as well come back in the pit lane and come out potentially ahead of Michele and Capitan. I think that might be his best play here. Right now, he has got that damage. I'm on board with them. He's staying out, so I wonder if it is just maybe lacking in confidence from, which is a shame because we normally see Fraser completely on the limit. Not on the limit tonight. He's let everyone escape up the road. Don't think we're going to see moves in towards turn number 1 this time around onto lap 4 to 29 here in Qatar for EML Academy. Lifeback leads Jimmy second, Mustache there in third. But look at the gap between second and third, Mike. Jimmy and Mustache, 1.4 seconds. Already out of DRS range. Luckily though, he's got more battery, Jimmy has, than Mustache, so can actually try and hold that gap.
Yeah, and of course with DRS as well, it's going to be even easier for Jimmy to hold that gap and even extend it in this race. But what Mustache needs now, he needs Jimmy and Lifeboat just to have a little bit of a scrap, a little bit of a fight into turn 1, and then Mustache can get himself back within DRS range.
No, you're definitely right. Yeah, he needs to really have that fight. I think Jimmy, though, carrying that confidence through the track, Steve, by the way, is about to get lapped in front of him as well. He's had an absolute wretched start. I think he's been just back into the pit lane there for another set of medium compound tyres. In terms of the tyre wear around this track as well, I'm going to take you through a little bit of my notes from a little bit earlier on in terms of my preparation. Haven't really done any, but but the medium compounds and the hards, medium certainly. Oh, it's Jimmy right to the inside curve there through 14. The tyre wear around this track, medium compound tyres about 7% a lap, hard compound tyres 5-6% a lap, anywhere between that. Instead of softs around here, 8% a lap. Tyre wear really does hurt around this track.
Yeah, I mean, tyre wear is going to be something to keep an eye on for these drivers, as it is with the fuel as well. But obviously, at this point in the game cycle, you'd expect everyone to be a little bit wise now to the fuel, so I would expect maybe everyone putting a minimum 2 laps over, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. I would assume they have, because the fuel does really wear on this game and around this track as well. And I mean, it was the previous patch update I think I last commentated on, and put it this way, I was not expecting a 2-stop strategy from the majority of the field in that race. I think everyone came in for a set of 2-stop. I think now that the game has fixed itself, obviously, with the patch update, we should see 1-stops around here being the norm. However, do not rule out a 2-stop, because theoretically around this track it's actually the quicker strategy.
Yeah, I mean, being on the fresher tyres definitely going to be beneficial, especially for these mid to high speed corners. And obviously those mid to high speed corners, as you mentioned earlier with the tyres, that is what puts the strain on them. Just constant mid to high speed cornering that will take the life out of the tyres, but also overheat them a bit as well.
Yeah, it will. And Sheen picked up a 3-second penalty. Track limits, another thing that we have mentioned as well here tonight. Track limits certainly for Sheen not there. Mustache, by the way, is desperately trying to stay within that DRS range. He has not got DRS down the straight, even though he was a second behind coming across the line there. Mustache losing that time. But we are going to see a move, I think, further down the field. Daniel and Fraser, side by side, down the straight, in towards turn number 1. The Williams man to the inside line on the back of the Alfa Romeo, force him out of the way. That is Daniel through, and he's into 8th. And Fraser is either carrying damage on that car, or he is just not confident here tonight in Qatar. And do you know what? Daniel's made him look very, very ordinary, and he's already pulling away.
Yeah, it's got to be damage. It is. It's the only thing I can think of for this to be happening for Fraser right now. Because we know Fraser, very good driver, very quick driver. But, I mean, right now, whatever's wrong with that car is absolutely knocking him well down where he should be.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at him. He's lost a second already. If that's not damage, then I don't know what is. It might be tyre conservation, might be something else. I don't know. But it's disappointing to see. Fraser, he messaged me last week as well, saying about the contact down towards Bruxelles, I think it was, in Belgium. And he referenced the incident, and he heard the commentary. And so hopefully he is hearing this a little bit later on and is recognising that he is a little bit slower around this track compared to others. Not against him whatsoever, just, I think, the case of confidence around this track. He's just barely got any, I think, around here. It is like that they're leading the way onto lap 7 we go, from Jimmy in 2nd, Mustache in 3rd, Chris in 4th, and Lehman 5th. Spicer in 6th, Machine in 7th, Daniel in 8th, Fraser there in 9th, Lab round up the top 10, the McKaylee, Capitan, Felkos and Sealy all had their troubles on lap 1 and 2 respectively. They are down towards the back end of the field, and they'll be expecting, I think, another safety car to come out. Myself and Ivan Bryn Mike, of course, Michael Edwards, as you're now called, of course, in commentary, in the commentary box here tonight. And of course, you can catch while we're on it, EML, F1 and F2, 8 PM UK time. Do not want to miss it, especially EML F1, because not only are you getting 2 doses of me again, but you get some really good racing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, in the chat, we do have the EML F2 commentator, Lesty, in the chat as well. So he's enjoying a bit of Academy before EML F2 tonight. So everyone's coming out for Academy here.
Yeah, everyone's coming out to Academy. Hopefully we're getting the viewership just before PSGL PCF1 starts in terms of their Esports Invitational. So hopefully you do not jump ship over to there. I expect you not to jump ship later on as well. But yeah, back to the race. Lifeback leading the way. He's got real element of control over the race. 92% of ERS he's got on that sort of hard compound of tyres. Jimmy there in 2nd. He is having to be forced to try and pursue. 29% of ERS going into the final corner. So Jimmy is looking completely in vain to Lifeback. Lifeback is managing this race so well. do not be surprised, Mike, if you see Lifeboat eventually when the pit stops come, begin to just pull away effortlessly out in front without a real challenge.
Lifeboat, when it comes to the pit stop races, Lifeboat is going to be able to just push on his in-lap. And he's going to have the ERS to absolutely steam away from these guys in behind. I mean, look at that, 92% on lap 8 on these hard tyres. And he has the drivers behind him in DRS as well. And Jimmy, I mean, right now he's coming on 30%. And Mustache, he's just about holding on, but he's on 15%.
He is. He's holding on. He's holding on for grim life, I've got to be honest. We're seeing 3-second penalties getting picked up as well. Sheen now got one. Daniel's just picked up one there as well. Sort of Capitan Feltals further down the field. We've all got 3 seconds worth of penalties so far. Lifeboat, though, leading the way, has got that real element of control. You can see, actually, one of the football stadiums right in the foreground of shot, just to the left-hand side as he comes down through the right-hand of turn 11. That is the Al Khalifa Stadium, where they played the World Cup final, of course, here in Doha. And very close, of course, to the circuit, the Lusail International Circuit, of course, based in Doha, just on the outskirts, in fact, of the capital of Qatar. But you don't need to know that because you can probably Google it.
I mean, you mentioned the World Cup, and as a Welshman, I do not remember that World Cup.
Well, we don't remember it either. Let's just not talk about the semi-final.
Quarters. What was that? Quarters.
Yeah, quarters, exactly. Even worse.
But Jimmy, I mean, closing up with DRS, but I mean, Lifeboat just has so much more ERS to play with right now that he doesn't seem to be under any threat at this stage in the race from Jimmy and Jane.
No, definitely not. Yeah, Jimmy in second. I think, honestly, if anybody wants to try and tackle him, I think it's Mustache. But again, Mustache is on 16% of ERS. So then you look to ETA Chris. Chris is on 73%. So is his own teammate going to have to come out the pack to try and pursue a potential 1-2? ETA, I'm not sure who's engineering them here tonight in 4 Academy. But put it this way, I'd want a pay rise from this performance so far because he's got everyone under pressure. Jimmy's now beginning to turn the battery back up. It's 50% now, the battery, so he's actually saving up his battery a lot more. But Mustache in trouble, Jimmy in trouble, Lifeboat and Chris, once they put on the afterburners, they're going to be absolutely flying. ETA, I'm going to even say this at early stage on lap 9 out of 29. I think ETA are 1-4 and 1-2 here.
Yeah, and obviously in the chat right there, Leslie pointing out a key thing. Obviously, Jimmy may need to look for the undercut. And the undercut could definitely come into play for the likes of Jimmy, Mustache, Liam, and of course for Chris, maybe getting an undercut on Lifeboat and making it an ETA 1-2 here.
Yeah, definitely so. It is going to be very intriguing indeed out on track. How is everything going to play out? We'll have to find out. Beautiful camera angle on board with Chris in towards turn of 1. Certainly on my end, beautiful helicopter shot. You can see there the grandstand in the background. Of course, the paddock has changed that much since, of course, the 2021 first Grand Prix here in Qatar. Normally, of course, a MotoGP circuit. First race, of course, 2021, and around about 153 kilometres in length in terms of the racing around out on track from the race distance of a 5.3 kilometre circuit. But yeah, Lifeboat out on top, Jimmy second, Mustache in third. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Spicer as well in terms of the ERS, 94%. I wish I could bring you more action. Simply, there's nothing happening right now out on track. Everyone is in a big old DRS train from first down to sixth. They're just running at each other's veins more than anything. But we are now going to see, hopefully, Mike, the pit stops begin to happen from, I would think, about this point onwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, obviously, I'm looking at it, what's called in terms of what could happen with the pit stop strategies. Obviously, we got Mustache and Liam obviously sharing a pit box and in the Aston Martin, so one of them's going to get left out to dry. Same with Lifeboat and Chris and the Mercedes for ET8. One of them's going to get left out for dry, and obviously NLR, they have they have all 3 drivers in this train, so 2 of those drivers are going to be able to get an undercut on at least their NLR teammate and one of the ET8 drivers.
Yeah, and that's what we haven't talked about as well. Undercut around this track is around about 2 to 2.5 seconds in terms of the actual physical gain. So you come out of the pit lane behind, and you're 2.5, and you're 0.6 of a second behind. You potentially could get a 2.5 second undercut and be 2.5 seconds clear the rest of the field come these end of the pit stops. But everything is a little bit too early just to come through yet. Nothing again really happening. Everyone running a big old DRS train. But again, Jimmy on the battery, 50% of ERS. Lifeboat has got double that amount. He's got a full amount of battery, and we're only on lap 11. This is very good management from both ET8 drivers so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Lifeboat really controlling this pace. I mean, Jimmy's doing a good job trying to get his battery back up to scratch. But as you can see, he just drops outside that 1 second and needs to burn a bit to try and get back in here.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And he needs to obviously find that time potentially from somewhere. And look at Lifeboat already. Now a second the gap. It is dead on a second coming to the right-hander there of 13, 14. And Jimmy's having to use up that battery. He's forced into chasing. I don't think he got DRS range, though. He's coming to the final corner, and he is not. Jimmy has got no DRS this time around. Mustache can now pursue him down. He is not going to gain 9/10 of a second unless he's got a jetpack underneath that car. Mustache, though, in third, Chris in fourth. I think everything is going to split. You're going to see the front two pull away, but then Mustache, Chris, Liam, and Spicer, that's where the real split, I think, is going to happen between them both.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, with Mustache, he's just on the teetering edge of DRS. I mean, he has, I think, the lowest amount of DRS out of everyone in this top 6 tune. No, sorry, Jimmy actually has it now. As we saw Lifeboat use a little bit of DRS, and he immediately broke DRS on Jimmy. So Lifeboat right now in such a good position, so comfortable around this track, and he is in prime position to just cruise away from Jimmy, but Jimmy needs to use all his battery to stay with Mustache. Doesn't really have the battery to try and compete with these guys, and he's going to be under pressure from Chris momentarily.
Yeah, definitely so. It is going to be, well, fascinating. When it comes to pit stops, it's going to be really fascinating to see how everyone gets on, how everyone's going to progress, I think, through this race. Of course, split up in terms of the strategies, you think it'll be halfway house between both hards and mediums. Looking on both, though, nobody yet is still coming in. Oh, I thought Liam was going to come in right in the background. He's been a cheeky little so-and-so for trying to duke me coming into the pit lane there. But he's there in fifth position. He had a look. And I think that's the first sign. Chris on the back of Mustache down the straight towards the turn of one. Mustache has got no ERS left. Chris is third, he's into third. And that is perfect for the E8 game plan here tonight.
Yep, Chris threw up into that final podium position, and now the question begins. Does Mustache move over for Liam here?
No, I don't think so. I think if Mustache wants to try and hang on, if he's the quicker driver and he feels like it, there's a yellow flag, and that is, I think, Felcor's the other Ferrari that is spun. Felcor's is spun in Ferrari coming to the left-hander, turn number 10. Very easy to do. Get caught in that outside curve, you will end up the car spinning. Again, though, Jimmy on the back foot up towards the front end of the field, 1.1 seconds. Is his tyres beginning to let go as well? I'm seeing blistering occurring already on those tyres. That's 13 out of 29. They're having to really, really take this cautiously now. And Jimmy, now outside of DRS rank, Lifeboat has got this race in complete and utter control. If there's an act of God, it'll hit him now. If not, he's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, Lifeboat doing absolutely fantastic right now. All eyes right now, though, on P3 Chris, because Chris has so much more ERS. And there we go, Jimmy's into the pits. He's bailed out. He's into the pits, and so is Mustache and Spicer. So there we go. The first round of pit stops are beginning to happen. Lap 13 of 29 here in Qatar.
Yeah, first pit stop beginning to happen. Everyone, of course, on the pit lane limiter, 48 mile an hour around this track in terms of the pit lane limiter. Comes into the pit lane, does Jimmy on a set of hards, currently on, goes on to a set of medium compounder tyres. 15 laps, though, on a set of medium compounder tyres. That is going to push those tyres to breaking point. That is going to push them all the way to the limit. I think, personally, if they felt like getting towards the end and their tyre wear was not so high, I think they should have came in a little bit later and followed like Lifeboat, Chris, Liam, Daniel, who was still out there, going on pursuing for another lap time. But Jimmy, Mustache, Spicer, if what works, works. If what doesn't, they're going to get that undercut that we talked about. But how much of an undercut are they actually going to get?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Whether it's Lifeboat or Chris, you're going to get a minimum 2-lap undercut on one of them. That is a guarantee.
It is. It is a complete and utter guarantee. I'm doing my notes, by the way, but even that's one. While we commentate you through out on track tonight, I have failed to do them because I got called up very late here for Academy with SJ missing once again. But I am having to do everything through my iPad right now. But we're getting there. Lifebound leading the way. Chris in second, Liam in third. And there is Chris and Liam splitting the strategies. They're into the pit lane. Set a medium compound and tyres will go on the car. Then limiter hits, and that is built as well. Still continuing on. So Daniel wants to try and push those tyres out. If he wants to try and go for a set of softs, he can. But the set of softs only lasts around 9 laps around here, so might be very hard to come by.
Yep, and now we're going to see how good this undercut is as Jimmy now comes down the start finish straight. He's going to retake P2 in this race, and now we got Mustache and Spicer going to be able to get the jump on both Chris and Liam. Spicer actually almost
side by side.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
got it. Yeah, Spicer had the run coming out of the pit lane. Chris there, unfortunately, now on the fresh compound of tyres, though, really beginning to hit the limiter, and Chris now on the back. He'll take a couple of corners for his tyres now to warm up, possibly up until the end of the middle sector. But Chris now, he's on the fresher tyres. He needs to use that advantage now to get Spicer under pressure. Spicer's already got a 3-second penalty. Put him under pressure, and you might just get your reward.
Yeah, but also you got a little bit of an LR sandwich that Chris has come at the end. So not only is he got to try and get through on Spicer, he needs to make sure he doesn't lose enough time behind Spicer that he gives Liam an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And Liam, of course, managing really well. Lifebound, by the way, is into pit lane from the race lead. So that is him now into the pit lane, ready to put on a fresh set of boots, fresh set of medium compound attire. It will be out on track for him. And of course, limits around this track as well. Of course, Qatar recently upgraded the circuit to 52,000 fans. It was absolutely packed. One of my friends, Mr. Daniel Roberts, was there as well. He is Welsh, by the way, as well, Mike, which is why I'm mentioning this. He was there in Qatar, and he's a Max Verstappen fan. So we've got to see Max Verstappen win the championship. But look at the undercut. Jimmy is there. Lifeboat is there. 2 seconds, I think that is the gap coming out of the pit lane. Lifeboat on the back foot. Jimmy getting that undercut. Lifeboat, though, is going to be under pressure as Felkos has crashed. That might be a safety car, and it is. Safety car deployed. Out on track.
Daniel going to benefit massively from this because he stayed out, and he's going to get a shortened pit stop time here.
He is. But I hate to be a party pooper. He's on that set of hard compound tyres. Everyone else is on the fresher mediums. Nobody else needs to come in behind him. He'll come out in 8th position, I think, in terms of the deltas. But if he gets this right, he could potentially bring out a little bit further. But Daniel, it saves his race in terms of the strategy. I think he would have been coming in the pit lane regardless, I think, on this lap anyways. But everyone in behind, fresh set of rubber on them. They don't need to come in the pit lane. Safety cars actually save them from getting any punctures towards the end.
Yeah, and right now, if you are C, you are thanking the lucky stars that the safety car has come out. Because remember, he was almost lapped before the pit stop phases.
He was. And yeah, Capitan's been saved as well. Capitan's only a second ahead of him. They've been saved. They've came on. Seaver's actually missed the pit lane, so he's actually going to stay out there maybe for another lap and then come back into pit lane. Daniel, though, is in, and Jimmy is in. Jimmy is into the pit lane, and there's more drivers in. Mustache in, Spicer in as well. Caught me off guard. I thought everyone was going to stay out in a set of medium compound tyres. Asheen, I think, is also into the pit lane as well. So 5 out of the top 8 are into the pit lane. Daniel, my friend, you're going to be in 4th position coming out.
Yeah, and I can't lie, I kind of like this strategy from the grid here because it puts them on fresher tyres. Obviously, the safety car is going to be saving these tyres a bit. So when it comes to the end of the race, they'll be in a bit better position compared to Chris and Liam. Lifeboat, though, I don't think it'll make too much of a difference between their tyres and Lifeboat's tyres. So that'll be the one thing that we have to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think the tyres, certainly it's a good call for them. If they feel like they can't get to the end of the race, there's no point in actually continuing on the compound tyre you're on. It's just that they were on 2-lap old rubber and they've wasted about 10% of that tyre wear. So that might come back to bite them. If there's another safety car in this race, which might be plausible, if there's another safety car in this race, perhaps that's probably not the best strategy to go on. But I might be talking out of my skin here by saying this, but yeah, Lifeboat out on top, Chris in second, Liam there in third. Lap 17 out of 29 out on track. Everyone on a fresh set of rubber. And I think, Mike, judging by where Sieb and Capitan are, I think we're going to get the safety car perhaps for 2 or 3 laps more.
Yeah, I think we're going to get it for 3 laps. Because Sieb, I think, should probably come into the pits again this lap now that he knows 100% he's not going to get lapped. And obviously, when it comes to the restart, his tyres will be a lot more up to temperature compared to the rest of the grid. So it'll be interesting to see what Sieb and Capitan can do from the back.
Yeah, it'd be really intriguing indeed into how their strategies, of course, are going to go on out on track. It's going to be very fascinating to see how everything progresses forward. Of course, EML F1 and F2 to come a little bit later on if you do want to tune in for that. But yeah, Lifeboat leading the way, Chris in second, and it's exactly what I said would happen has happened. E-Tate are currently a 1-2. They have got everything right so far in terms of the big calls in this race. Whether or not they can continue that good run of form with Friday the 13th looming in a couple of days' time remains to be seen. But Lifeboat out on top, Chris in second, Liam there in third, and we are under the safety car, at least, I think, for the next lap. Capitan and Sieb are through the final sector now.
Yeah, I think Sieb will be coming into the pits at the end of this current lap that he's on, but possibly we'll have another lap after this, depending on how quickly Sieb can catch up to the pack. But yeah, I mean, lap 18, we are in the safety car, as you mentioned, ET8 1-2 right now with Lifeboat and Chris. In our lap development driver Liam currently completing that podium, and of course the third ETA driver Daniel currently with a 3-second time penalty in 4th, then WOR Jimmy in 5th, and then we have the NLR pairing of Mustache in 6th, and of course Spicer, who also has a 3-second time penalty, in 7th. The lead RCR Academy driver in 8th with Lab, and then of course we got the WOR pairing of Oshin in 9th and Fraser in 10th. And Fraser, I mean, we saw in qualifying Fraser's pace. Now it's time to see if it was wing damage that plagued him at the start of this race.
Yeah, I think now, judging by his run on that set of mediums just for that lap, I think he's got his confidence back potentially. But yeah, I can visibly, just on the left-hand side of the wing damage. Now, we haven't got zoom-in cameras, so we can't actually look at that winglet, but I am sure there is a little bit of winglet damage on that left side end plate damage of that car. So I think Fraser's got that left side damage. He hasn't realised that, and I think it's only because I've mentioned it potentially in commentary that he's realised that, and therefore just backed off, maybe just to try and not live with the fight. But it might just be confidence. It might just be a confidence issue around this track. It's all very, very hard on drivers around here. It's one of the hardest tracks, certainly on the new game. But Fraser there in 10th. It'll be very, very intriguing to see if he has got that damage or not. See, by the way, he's rejoining on the back. I wonder if they're going to get the safety car potentially in this lap. It could be around about now it would decide to come in. I think, though, judging by where the safety car actually is, we're going to be out for another lap. So see there. Interesting as well, Mike, as well. He's got that sort of soft compound tyres at the back.
I was just about to bring that up. Steve, interestingly, going for a set of the Red Bull soft tyres, and honestly, will they get to the end though? That's the big question. As you mentioned,
they will.
I mean, would they be optimal? Would they be optimal though? I think early game, but could plummet back through the field.
Yeah, could plummet back through the field, but you may as well shoot your chance. You get one chance at life, and I think Sieb has got one chance of potentially making an impact in terms of this race as well. So he's got to go for broke. It's basically all balls or no balls, basically, for Sieb. They're down in 13th, and I will be as crude as possible by saying my language there. But Sieb there in 13th. Around a track like this, you've got to have some big cojones, put it this way. And if you've got that set, and if you want to go for the best strategy, you've got to try and think outside of the box and think, oh, what are the other guys doing that I'm not? That's what Sieb has done on a set of socks.
Absolutely. I'm sure Sieb, the engineer, whoever's engineering for IRT tonight, being told in the chat that obviously everyone on a set of mediums, so he can go for a different strategy. Of course, he does have that 3-second time penalty as well. Potentially it could be 6. I'm going to have a quick little peek at that. No, just a 3-second for Sieb. 6 seconds of Capitan, though. And obviously 3 for Daniel, 3 for Spicer, and 3 for Oshin. That is the penalties as they currently stand on lap 19. But looks like we're going to be going racing again from lap 20 to the end of this race. But Sieb, as you mentioned, doing an alternative strategy, and we're going to see how it works for him.
Yeah, it's very much an alternate strategy from him. Safety car, however, is going to be coming in this lap. It's going to be in around about... Well, I was going to say now, but Life Out backed off. I think it's still coming through the right-hand return number 12. Yeah, there we go. Safety car in this lap. Life Out now, virtual thermometer. Now the virtual safety car. E8 has got a stranglehold on this race so far. First and second. Liam in behind. Daniel in behind as well. Looking all good for E8 right now. Capitan and McKaylee are swapping positions just because they're going a little bit slow. I think Fraser's actually backing off, which is why they're going a little bit slow. Maybe just have to try and get within the 10 car limit there at the back of the field. The Life Out leading, Chris in second, and I think he's going to go through the exit of the final corner. Speeding it up, coming now through the final corner. Life Out about to say go. I hope he does, but he's not. He's actually chosen to go. No, he's not. He's still not going. Now, is he going to go? Yes, now he goes. And that's actually good restart. Catches Daniel right on the front foot as well on the back of Liam. That is perfectly poised for ETA. Daniel now to the inside line. In towards turn number 1 on Liam. Williams and Aston Martin side by side. Williams on the outside line, just about to hold it off. Liam on the much older compound tyre. I think Daniel's got this. He has. Beautifully worked by ETA. Life Out through. And he's into the lead. Chris in second. Daniel there in third. That is how you play the team game in Qatar.
Yep, absolutely. And Lifeboat picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. So now 2 ETH drivers with 3-second time penalties. As you mentioned, they're lap around at the back. So it's gone horribly wrong for RCR here. Currently 1 driver out of this race. And of course, Capitan with a 6-second time penalty and 11th and lap around. And there's a 9-second now for Capitan.
Yeah, disastrous for Capitan. He has got back in the race though, main thing. Steve as well, picking off one by one on the back of Capitan, and actually McKaylee runs out one, and do you know what? He says, you know what, I'm going to get you both. Brilliant stuff by Steve on that set us off. Capitan falls in from the mistake the Frenchman. McKaylee falls into his own mistake as well. Steve takes full advantage, set us off compound tyres. He's doing, he's into 10.
Yep, and now Steve needs to use those soft tyres. 1.6 the gap up to Fraser in front of him, and he needs to get into that DRS train. He cannot afford to be outside of it on those soft tyres.
Definitely not. Yeah, see, 1.4 seconds outside of that. It's going to put him now completely on the back foot, running down the straight. Speaking of on the front foot, however, Jimmy on the back of Liam in towards turn number 1. Not quite close enough to remove this time around. One mistake, though, from anyone in front brings Jimmy completely back into play, Mustache back into play as well. This track is unforgiving in terms of the drivers, unforgiving in terms of the limits. Life Out, though, leading, Chris in second, Daniel there in third, coming out through the right-handers of turns 4 and 5, all looking now quiet on the western front.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Liam and Jimmy here, obviously, Daniel, you need to get ahead of Daniel, because Daniel's going to be that guy that will... potentially try and, well, I'm going to say potentially back up the pack so that it's going to be a double podium for ET8 here. But, I mean, as it currently stands, both Daniel and Lifeboat with 3-second time penalties. Liam and Jimmy right now, and obviously Mustache, they're doing a pretty decent job right now. Obviously, these three are battling for a podium position now.
Yeah, definitely. So they are fighting for that podium position indeed. Yeah, Liam and Jimmy right in there. In the mix, of course, penalty might get removed if they feel it's unfair. They might actually try and look into getting the stewards' penalties removed. 3 seconds normally, though, not really a removable penalty here, of course, in EML, unless it is outside of the game's stature. Daniel on the back of Chris running towards turn number 1. Is the Williams going to be close enough? Yes, he is. Look at him closing in to the inside line, using that battery up to good effect, and Daniel now through, and he's into second. Daniel looking so much quicker than Chris there. Jimmy and Liam as well. Jimmy was close to the back there. I think he ran wide as a result, and Liam holds on to 4th.
Yeah, and now potentially ETA could be looking at a full podium here, because Chris now could play that team game and back up the back.
Yeah, he can. They're all doing a fantastic job out on track. Jimmy's looking to the inside line at turn number 6. He had an eye for the inside line. That eye, though, closed, just like the big brother eye that is going on right now in the UK. Lifeboat, though, leading the way. Daniel in second, Chris there in third. Unlike Big Brother, of course, he or she is not giving us any challenges, apart from the 21 laps of Qatar here tonight as well. But Liam there in 4th, Jimmy there in 5th. He looks very quick. Steve as well, looking very quick on the back of Fraser. Fraser, again, it's more confidence than damage. I don't think he's actually got damage. I think it's confidence around the track like this. Mustache's confidence is gone because he picked up a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, and that takes away Mustache's chance of podium through the penalties out the window now. I mean, now he has to get himself ahead of Daniel and Lifeboat to stand a chance of a podium.
Oh yeah, definitely so. Daniel on the back of Lifeboat in towards turn number 1. Steve as well, right on the back in towards the camera shot there. Daniel took right underneath the slipstream there of back of Mercedes. Chris there in third, doing a good job as it stands out on track. And of course, in terms of the driver lineup, we've got 3, of course, for ETA here tonight as well. I'm just going to quickly get that up. My messages apparently are not loading, which is not good at all. Yeah, the top 3, of course, all ETA. I thought Daniel was ETA, which is why I was second guessing myself. But Daniel in second, Chris there in third. At this moment in time, though, with the 3-second penalty ahead, now for Lifeboat, who's just picked up 1. Daniel there in second, Chris in third. Chris is now going to reap the rewards. He's got to be quick, though, on those tyres if he wants to try and stay within contention.
Yeah, and the thing is that obviously, for Chris as well, I mean, it's going to be also about can he help ETA out in the long term, and obviously try and back up the pack so it's more than just himself on the podium. It's obviously you've got both, Liam and Jimmy are also in contention for a podium. Jimmy is really all over the back of Liam here. Liam has fallen a bit away from Chris, and if these two battle each other, ETA are just going to get an absolute dominant podium here.
They will. ETA have took a real stranglehold on this race. Here is Daniel on the back of Lifeboat in towards turn number 1. Pressure compound tyres, you may as well try and go through for the move, and Daniel does exactly that. He is through, and he's into the race lead. Lifeboat in second, Spicer right on the back of Mustache as well, and towards turn 1, Jimmy right on the back of Liam. This is actually a really good race now, beginning to develop, and Steve looking to the outer line on Fraser. Fresh compound tyres, the confidence shot potentially for Fraser. Bit of a lean in there from Steve. Alfa Romeo tries to go side by side, but the Red Bull comes out on top, and Steve there through, and he's into 9th. And put it this way, Steve is doing at least a better job than Sergio Perez around this track.
Yeah, I mean, see right now though, currently down in P9, 3.6 seconds off the back of Oshin ahead, and obviously those soft tyres now 6 laps old. I think it's going to be a bit of an ask to close up that gap now.
It will be, it will be. Can you still hear me, by the way? Because it looks like my Discord has gone down.
You did lag a little bit then when you were talking, but I can hear you fine now.
You can hear me fine. Good. It says my messages are failing to load, so I hope to God EML, the Discord hasn't gone down. Otherwise, EML F1's going to be in the pot a little bit later on. But Daniel leading the way from Lifeboat in second, Chris there in third. Look at Jimmy on the back of Liam. Liam did get that job done, of course, last time around. Jimmy, though, right underneath the slipstream with that undercut strategy on. And he is now hunting for fresh blood towards turn number 1. Aston Martin and Haas about to go side by side down the straight. WR against NLR. This is the battle like we like to see. Spicer as well moving through on Mustache. In the end, Jimmy is close enough towards turn number 1. Doesn't get the job done. Spicer does though, and behind he's doing his intersect.
Yep, Spicer getting past Mustache. Both NLR drivers trading positions. And right now, Spicer 65% on his battery compared to Liam and Jimmy, who are absolutely depleted on their ERS. Spicer could get himself ahead of both of these drivers by here.
Yeah, definitely so. Might be the case as well with EML F1. I think Discord is completely down. Discord is completely down, so this is going to be very entertaining for me to try and get in the comment box in the next hour or so. Otherwise, you'll be seeing a PlayStation-only stream a little bit later on for EML F1. Very rare that I even commentate on EML F1 on PlayStation, put it that way as well. But Daniel leading the way from Lifeboat. Lifeboat is still sticking with them, and with a full complement battery there, Mike, on lap 25, that is what you want to have on your side. Perhaps, are we going to see, and I say this in the best possible terms for ETA, are we going to see a bit of inter-team rivalry going on here between the 3 of them?
I really, obviously, the team is what's most important for these two, but for the sake of an entertainment, I really hope so.
I really hope so as well. It'll be bloody entertaining for sure. Lifeboat on the back of Daniel in towards turn number 1. And there's a swap around. So Lifeboat through, and he's into the lead. Daniel there in second. Spicer as well. To the outside line of Jimmy through turn number 1 on the fresher compound tyres. Jimmy's definitely not making those tyres work as good as what they were, and Spicer has capitalised on that fully. Spicer through, and he's into 5th, and Spicer spying the gap, spying the rewards, and he's certainly spying a 4th position.
Yeah, and right now, obviously, Chris currently on 13% battery. He hasn't got much to play with either. Spicer, I mean, he's got the same amount of battery as Daniel. Obviously, they're still in the DRS tree. Could Spicer potentially play spoiler in the podium here? Oh, big snap.
Potentially, oh, huge snap. Huge snap of oversteer. I think we caught that at the same time. Huge snap of oversteer there from Spicer. Unfortunate for him, he's there down in 5th position. Jimmy there in 6th. He's got those penalties overhanging him. There's a lot of black and white flags out on track. Mustache is looking on the back of Jimmy in towards the triple right-hander. 3 for Lifeboat, by the way. 6 for Daniel. 3 for Spicer. 3 for Mustache. 6 for Rasheen. 3 for Sieb. 3 for Fraser. 12 for Capitan. If he's not careful, he might get disqualified from this race. Lab there on 3 and McKaylee on 3. That is how the penalty run. Mustache is looking on the back of Jimmy and Capitan. As soon as I said he might get disqualified, there's a 15 seconds worth of penalties that he's now got.
Yeah, it's not been a good day for Capitan and for RCR. Obviously, Belco's out of this race. Lab down in P12, Capitan P11 with 15 seconds of time penalties. It's not a good day for IRT either, with look at that down in P13, and of course Seed on those soft tyres. Doesn't look like he's going to be getting any further up the order, and that is a Red Bull around. That is Seed.
And has he got a puncture, I wonder, on that compound of tyre, on the set of softs? Capitan's also off and in the wall. Capitan off in the wall, has spun exactly the same through turn number 2. He's got in the gravel this time. Seeb actually managed to get out of the gravel and get back going again.
Mustache and Jimmy side by side there for the middle sector, but Jimmy just about holds on, but Mustache really pressuring the WR driver here.
Yeah, Mustache there, right on the back with Jimmy, on board with him now, in towards the right-handers of turns 12, 13 and 14. He is literally on the limit in terms of the racing. Lifeboat though leading the way, Daniel in 2nd, Chris there in 3rd. Spicer is the one to watch out for. He's on the fresh compounder tyre, all over the back of Liam. NLR, they do want to fight normally within their team. I think this time around, if I was in their shoes, as Mustache looks the inside line on Jimmy, doesn't get the job done. If I was them, I'd swap them around immediately and let Spicer really come at Chris for turn 1. But look at Liam coming at Chris in towards turn 1, who needs the NLR man in behind when you've got Chris who takes 3rd position. Great stuff from Liam. He's up to 3rd, Chris there down in 4th, Spicer there in 5th, and Mustache around the outside of turn number 1 on Jimmy. Jimmy, I think, has a slight slide midway through the corner. Mustache soon he's into 6th position.
Yeah, and of course with WR falling down the order, and obviously we're all in 8th and Fraser in 9th, a lonely 9th at the moment for Fraser, to be fair. It's not going WR's way, but ET8 are absolutely flying, and so are NLR here.
Yeah, definitely so, definitely so. Spicer on the back of Chris, 4th, 5th position, up to the inside line in towards turn 7. Not really an opportunity for overtaking. I've seen that done in the past though around here before in Qatar. Spicer though again trying to spy a gap, try to spy a seam potentially in terms of that. As Jimmy now picks up a 3-second penalty. So currently, as it stands, NLR with Liam, Lifeboat can pull away another second or so and use his tyres up compared to Liam's. Lifeboat has got a chance of actually winning potentially this race, or at least getting on the podium at this race. Chris is all over the back of him. Chris and Liam fight. This is going to be swinging ET8's way, especially with Lifeboat even.
Yeah, and we are about to come on to the final lap of this race as here comes Chris.
Look at Spicer!
And Spicer down the inside. It's going to be free wide into turn 1. Spicer down the inside. He goes up into P3. Chris settling down for P4, but obviously with no time penalties to his name, it's looking good for Chris in terms of the finishing positions in this race. But as you can see, Lifeboat has that 3-second gap, and Daniel, does Daniel have a 3 seconds as well? No, he has around about 2 seconds.
No. It's about 2.6, I think, for Daniel. So Daniel's actually in there as well, potentially for the race win. Lifeboat might actually win this race now with Spicer completing that slingshot move down in towards turn number 1. Chris and Liam now on the back foot. Their tyre's not telling. Daniel, though, 3-second penalty. That puts his nail in the coffin for sure in terms of the race win. Might still get a podium if he's lucky, but Lifeboat coming in towards the final couple of corners through turn 12 and 13 and 14 for the final time. Really controlled this race throughout. He has had a dominant sort of race as the ET8 man. Nobody is going to live with him here tonight out on track. But Can he wrap this up with a race win? He is more than 3 seconds clear of Spicer. It's 3.2, 3.3, around about that as he comes down through the final corner. Lifebound now needs to use this overtake on the run to the line. He will win. He's already got the fist pumping in the air as he comes to the line. Lifebound to the line, wins in Qatar. Daniel in second, and look at Chris. Chris gets Spicer. Gets second position very late on. Photo finish to the line. Chris there in second. E812. Brilliant, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then in our development, Liam completing the podium with Spicer and Mustache in fourth and fifth. So a good result there for NLR. And of course, Jimmy getting ahead of Daniel. That late penalty for Daniel really costing him at the end, dropping from what was almost onto the podium, but dropping all of him down to P7. Oshin and Fraser in 8th and 9th for WR, IRT Sieb in 10th, and of course RCR Lab in 11th, Mika in 12th for IRT, and Capitan, he's going for the fastest lap, fastest middle sector from Capitan. And of course, I mean, when the race has gone as bad as it has for RCR, get the fastest lap point, and it is still a point that is up for grabs. So I do not blame Capitan going for this, and we're going to see if he does get the fastest lap. He should do as he comes to the line. And it's going to be a... Yep, fastest lap.
Never in doubt from the man who was translated to English as captain at the end of the day. I wonder if he is the captain of the RCR Academy. But yeah, fantastic race. Liam gets driver of the day, awarded by the in-game fans. Only one team and one driver deserves driver of the day from me. Lifeboat and EC8. Phenomenal performance. Phenomenal. They knew exactly what to do in a situation like this. Really put them forward. Fantastic driving. 1-2 as well, topping it off. Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Lifeboat from the start absolutely controlled the race. I mean, at one point he had 100% battery and was still just about breaking DRS range on I believe it was Jimmy in behind at that point. But yeah, I mean, Lifeboat, absolutely incredible. Thoroughly deserved race win. And of course, with his teammate Chris joining him alongside. Of course, Chris had to step in pretty late notice. I mean, 20 minutes before the race started, he had to step in. So that gives a rough idea of potentially the time that he had to practice. But fantastic performance from him as well. But we'll run you through the order one more time. It is Lifeboat who takes victory for ET8 with Chris alongside him. A 1-2 for the ET8 Academy team. LR Developments, Liam there completes the podium with his teammates Spicer and Mustache joining them in 4th and 5th. Then WR's Jimmy in 6th place with the third ETA driver Daniel in 7th. WR drivers Oshin and Fraser in 8th and 9th. And of course we got the first of the IRT Academy drivers in Sieb in 10th. Then of course we got RCR Lab in 11th. IRT Mikhail in 12th, and of course Capitan for RCR in P13 with the fastest lap and only one DNF here tonight, and that was Felcos for RCR. And what a fantastic end to this race that was.
Yeah, brilliant race. Well controlled from ETA. It was really, really well received. And of course, from an academy perspective, I believe it is a break week, of course, next week as well. So it just brings a thing home to ETA to revel in their glory for 1 week more until the grind begins once again for the next part of the season. But yeah, delighted to be alongside you once again, Mike, for Academy. And of course, while we've got the plugins going on, you can catch EML F1 and F2 a little bit later on 8 PM UK time. I'm glad to say my Discord is now working on my end, so I think we're going to be full complement in terms of having our voices through on Discord at least.
Yeah, and that is fantastic to hear. I mean, as you mentioned about a break week next week, let us have a look at the calendar. Of course, we still have F1 and F2 coming tonight in around 45 minutes. But there you see the next race, the 25th of October, we go to the Red Bull Ring. We go to the Austrian Grand Prix. We go to Spielberg. And honestly, a very, very good track to go racing at. And obviously another one where DRS trains are going to be apparent.
Yeah, bring it on for Austria. Bring it on. It's going to be very intriguing. Certainly from an EML F1 side. I'm not sure how Academy might go around there. But EML F1, I'm very excited for Austria. It's one of the races that gets me completely giddy every single season we've had it on the EML calendar. And of course, Zandvoort, Brazil, and then Emilia-Romagna, of course, in Imola, and then Las Vegas to end off the season as well. And then, because I think I can announce this. I hope I can. Esports, of course, 2 weeks after EML finishes, and Mason not told me to actually mention this, but we have got the European Esports Championship coming on as well. To Crossplay Championship, 5 European races. Round 1 starts on the 6th of December, so 2 weeks after Las Vegas for round 10. Sign-ups are open. Discord link is at EML_F1 on the X if you do want to have a sign-in for that. The likes of Thomas Ronhar might already be racing. Mocha Soriano, Kian Goldendorf. Need I say any more?
I already feel bad for the Welsh team. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, that a lot of things to look forward to, and obviously the European Esports Championship is definitely going to be one to absolutely look forward to. And make sure you guys check all information on that on the EML X account for all updates regarding that. But of course, in around 40 minutes time, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with F1 and F2, of course. Taking you through the action in F1 is, of course, the man who has just joined me in the commentary box. It is James Head, and he will be joined alongside Indigo for EML F1, and then of course for F2 we have Lesty, who will be joined by Freefall. So make sure you guys stick around. Obviously go through and show both of those streams a lot of love, and obviously, you know, support your favorite teams, because there's definitely a lot of action that will happen in both F1 and F2 tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So EML F1 as well, if you do want a little bit of whetting of the appetite, 11 points separating OP and F7R coming into tonight. NLR with Marlon, of course, taking the race win in Belgium. If you do want to tune in for that, at 8 p.m. UK time. And of course, we can see how the lineups, of course, go there as well. I'm not going to reveal them on the stream because that'll be cheating.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in F2, very similar at the top, 14 points separating CPI and WR in F2. So very close battles at the top in both tiers. So make sure you guys go ahead and tune into that. But that brings an end for EML Academy here tonight. I want to thank everyone for tuning in with us. And of course, massive congratulations to Lifebout on the race win. And of course, the ET8 on a double podium, and NLR for completing it. But that is going to be it for tonight. I have been Michael Edwards. He has been James Head, and he'll catch you in about 40 minutes time, and I'll catch you in a fortnight's time for round number 6 at Austria. Until then, guys, goodbye.